5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Broadcasting worldwide from Painedemonium Studios in Cornwall, this is the Wal of Paine show on Phluid FM.
Hello, good evening and welcome, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Leo Bass Driver Paine, and right next to me we have Neil Waters. How's it going?
It's going really well and it's going really busy, but yeah, we're surviving.
Good times.
We've had a mental day today, haven't we?
It has been, yeah, kind of non-stop. Well, it's been a bit of a non-stop week altogether, to be honest. An awful lot's been going on here at Fluid HQ. Yeah.
We've, what I was going to say, we've got, as always, I feel like we've got a packed show coming up this evening, which is what we always seem to say.
We always do, yeah. Well, actually, I think even more so this week due to us having some layover from last week, which I feel should probably have a little mention. Thank you very much, everyone out there. We had a fantastic response to our show last week.
We did.
Very many rewatches on YouTube, and yeah, really are surprised and humbled by the response. Thank you so much, everyone that's been tuning in and listening. But yeah, it's back to basically regular
listening
this week. Yeah,
but we were in the papers. We Cornish Times had a lovely, actually commemorative paper, didn't they? Come out this week.
Yes, they did. And we're going to have a little look at that later, I think, as well, aren't we?
We can, and we got a little mention in there. So thanks to our friend Scarlett on the Times.
Massive thanks for that. Really appreciate that.
In tribute to Scarlett, I hope she's going to tune in at some point tonight. We're going to do a Wrong'uns, which is a Scarlett thing. I'm going to do one on you, Leo.
Yes.
And bear in mind,
you're going to do a wrong'un on me.
On Wrong'uns, which is going to really mess your brain up. You have to be wrong to be right. And if anybody knows Leo, he likes to be right. But this quiz, you have to be wrong. We've got our ordinary quiz provided by Rufus Periwinkle.
Excellent.
We've got a story we're going to I've got to tell a little bit of a story later about the man up the tree.
Man in tree.
Which, if you missed that, is brilliant. And my friend Rob sent me the best story because there's a deliberately massive typo in it, which is funny. Monty Tom, we got a last little tip in from Monty Tom. He settled into the palace well and he sent us a little thing. I think he might have picked that up in prison. We've got Tipple of the Week coming up. We've got TrakLink. We've got lots more. We've got lots of music coming up. So let's get back in, Leo, to a little bit of that. We're in the pink. Let's have a bit of pink. Size of a cow.
Yeah, there you go.
It's you sent me some pictures this week, didn't you, about like our new cameras, and it was like
those ones.
You put a banana next to it, so and Leo said banana for scale. So it's good job we didn't put a cow on, like the size. This is the size of a cow. This is the size of our new cameras.
Yeah.
And it just reminded me when people used to do medical speak and they say, and he had a growth the size of a grapefruit, and there was a lump the size of an apple. It's like, they always pick on fruit, don't they?
Yeah. Well, I was saying, like, for us, it's a sort of internet tradition, like back in the good old days of Telnet and BB boards and stuff like that. It'd be like, like my new SNES controller turned up, third-party SNES controller turned up. Banana for scale, or aubergine. Aubergine for scale, or pickle for scale is a popular one in America. It's like pickle for scale.
As though people can't picture what a controller looks like. You need a banana, but I mean that could be misleading because I know what size a SNES controller and a PlayStation controller is. But what if you've got a massive Fifey banana, or you've got a little Waitrose other supermarkets are available? This is the thing. Organic banana.
No, you meme like the meme has had variants all over the place, including those tiny little like West Indian bananas used to get little mini ones, and like people taking photos with them. It's like banana for scale, but also the pickle one. Like obviously in America, pickles are like your dill pickles. You know, your long sort of like
they're big, aren't they?
Yeah. Whereas the British meme on that is like pickled onion next to it going pickle for scale, or a spoon of Branson pickle for scale.
Love it.
But it is quite amazing. These cameras are actually tiny, aren't they? You didn't even notice that, did you? It says one right there.
Well, yeah. Is that one of our new ones?
That is one of our new ones.
It's because there wasn't a banana next to it. I completely missed it. Can you stick a banana on top of it?
I'll go get one in a minute.
Excellent, if you would. Leo, I was going to read this little thing out last week that was on the news for anybody that's listening up countries. I know Sally and Chris are listening. They'll like this. This was brilliant. This was priceless, actually, wasn't it? We came home from Lou a couple of weeks ago to find I think the only thing they didn't have here was a tank and the Marines. They'd thrown cherry pickers, millions of manpower, woman power, machinery and police at this guy, right? And this is the headline that our friend Robert J. Mack, will be playing a song of his later in the show. Man hid in, he sent this from London, get this. Man hid in tree from police honestly, we were outside having a beer watching this, for 5 hours until fire crews came and got him, yeah.
Not Tom Cruise.
Not Tom. Actually, they should have called Tom Cruise. He would have just shot him out. But this is the best story I've read on this. I'm going to read this out because there's literally a typo in it, and it's brilliant. and then a man wanted on suspicion of assault fled armed police and hid up a tree for almost 5 hours until he was arrested yesterday. For yesterday, obviously, read 2 weeks ago. Police were called at around 5:55 p.m. to reports of an assault by a man allegedly wielding a knife. Now, that bit's not funny. That is quite serious. But by the time they got to the scene in Liskeard, Cornwall, the suspect had fled. So armed police and snigger dogs joined the search.
Muttley.
This is what Rob said. Were the police dogs sat at the bottom of the tree just laughing at this chap because they brought him down naked. He discarded his clothes trying to get away from these snigger dogs. They tracked him down.
That helps. Like what?
I know. I don't think you can outsmart a police dog.
It wasn't a greased up Scotsman, was it?
No. He was
an animal alive that can outrun a greased up Scotsman.
He was horrible though. They tracked him down, hiding in a tree at St Martin's Church. That's a couple of doors up from me. Yeah. Just under an hour later, but the man refused to come down. Now, they had about 60 grand's worth of armed police, taser police, climbing crews, snigger dogs, but he refused to come down. So that's that buggered, isn't it?
Yeah.
A fire service cherry picker and police negotiators were sent to the scene to try and persuade him to come back down to the ground. They ultimately did persuade him, and he did come back down to the ground, and they arrested him, and they took him away. So we have a tune.
Yeah, I was just going to say, the campanologists were in there last week, weren't they? So all he was looking was for someone to ring his bell.
Oh, well, that's cool, isn't it? That
is a great tune there. I like that track very much.
The more elderly of our listeners, the more middle-aged of our listeners will recognise Super Freak in that. And the youngsters will recognise Nicki Minaj.
Yes, and also in between us will be MC Hammer. Although there wasn't actually that much time between the original Rick James Super Freak and the MC Hammer tune.
Can't touch this.
Literally within a year or so. Nice. It was very very quick between those. Do you remember Eddie Murphy did a tune with Rick James?
Love Eddie Murphy. Don't see much of him anymore. I don't know what he's up to.
I could go into that.
Let's not. It's a family show.
Yeah, maybe not. But there is a significantly good reason why he's not around that much, and it's probably going to be quite similar to Will Smith these days.
I saw a bit of Will Smith as well.
I saw a great meme the other day actually with Will Smith from the Oscars, because obviously those of you out there that witnessed life in 2022, at some point you would have heard about him slapping Chris Rock.
Yeah.
But it's just him sat there shouting, and instead of what he did say, it's like, at the rave, keep your damn lighter out of the damn pocket. Stop nicking my damn lighters.
Good story though, the old slapping Chris Rock, wasn't it?
No, that was quite funny, really. Like,
there's always some kerfuffleage at the Oscars.
What I just love about it is he tells the joke, camera pans to Will. Ha 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 ha. Camera pans to Jada Pinkett Smith, who just looks at him. The marriage stare. You know the one where you've actually gone that point where you've actually peed her off, so she gives you that stare. And the next thing you know, he's striding up there like wiki wiki wild wild west.
Have that, son.
Oh wait, hold on a second. You didn't like that joke, damn. I'm gonna slap you.
Brilliant.
It's ridiculous, man. All I wanted from that as well was for Chris Rock to just break down in like a Ruby Rose style of thing. Oh no, you hit me, ow.
Assault.
Yeah.
Do you know what?
No.
Listen.
TrakLink.
Hey,
it's that time again.
I didn't press it at the start, Leo.
Yes,
I didn't
that's
press
2 weeks in a row we've done it. That makes up for 2 weeks in a row where you did.
I know. I was going to say I didn't press it in an inappropriate place. I pressed it at the correct place.
But you did manage to miss the play button with that comedy timing on the last tracks.
Oh, no, I didn't. I got my phone rested on the trackpad on the Mac, and I think there must have been some reaction, and it was like it was permanently pressing it. So I had to move my phone to press the button. But, that's technology.
So you got to be careful with Apple products. They don't play well with each other.
Well,
clearly.
that's a Huawei phone and a MacBook, so they obviously
that's
like
exactly
a bit of it's Chris Rock and Will Smith going on over there.
Yes, exactly. Keep your damn code out of my computer.
Exactly that. Right, now, I've done this TrakLink, and you don't know this.
No, I don't know this.
I don't know what's the matter with Leo today. I think he's had such a long, busy day that he's gone.
I've been hard at it the last few days, actually. It's been, although I did actually get a decent amount of sleep last night. That makes a change, yeah.
Decent amount of sleep for you is like 4 hours, though.
Yeah, about 4 or 5 hours.
Yeah, so that's not a decent amount of sleep.
Yeah.
I was reading a job application the other day. Sorry, we will press TrakLink in a minute. and it said, must like an early start, right? 2 things wrong. Nobody likes an early start. And I thought, okay.
I don't know, 50s guys. Up at 5 a.m. I was by 6 a.m. I'd build a house by 7 a.m. I'd raise number 2. What are you doing still here? Get out there, get my newspaper, find me photos of Spider-Man. Hurry up.
Well, even they wouldn't have liked it then, because it was like starting at 4 o'clock in the morning. I thought, that is not the early start. That's the middle of the night, man.
Yeah, exactly. That's must like middle of night work.
I was going to say, so they need to change their description. Like, obviously, must be a vampire. Anyway, we're going to do TrakLink. I've chosen TrakLink. Leo doesn't know what TrakLink is, so he's going to guess with everybody else as we go along. And the first one, this is great. This is a bit of Northern Soul vibe. It's the Q-Tips and Sweet Talk.
Nice. Banging track right there, huh?
I was just counting Leo in there. I was going, right, we're back on in 10. I said, actually, we don't need a count. You can hear it going, bam-dum-dum-dum-bam-dum-dum. It's counting down itself.
Back in the days when tracks would have a definitive, here comes the end, ladies and gentlemen.
That's only ready. So that, having played in bands, and you'll appreciate this as well, that's so you all know when you're ending.
Yeah. It's one thing I do kind of miss these days with a lot of modern artists is there's none of that turning around to the other band members and nodding and then all dropping. Although the best ones are like when they turn around and nod and no one sees, so they carry on and they nod again, and it just goes on and on and on until they're like walking over and screaming at them, now
I am that drummer when we're playing live and I know it's coming to the end, because I'll say, look, when you hear that's when we're coming to the and then they go yeah, typical singers, guitarists and bass players, yeah, that's brilliant, Neil. Get to the gig. What did Neil say? Oh, I don't know. I think he said, we all face the front and totally ignore him. And I'm there at the back going, Charlie! Yeah. And then I'm playing and I'm like, Charlie! And he eventually just glances my way and I'm like, is it? And he's turned back round again. And I'm like, never mind.
Yeah. I think like this was actually also Beck's like kind of running excuse for many years. I remember seeing Beck at Reading Festival one year.
Loser baby Beck.
Yes. The Rhyming Bectionary. Beck.
Great artist.
He's great. Produced by the Dust Brothers, which actually was one of our track links, because Dust Brothers also produced Hanson. There's he has a habit of doing this thing, and they take the mick out of it in Futurama when Bender becomes a folk singer. The head of Beck joins him, and they go to do a gig, and he starts the tune at like 1 in the afternoon, and time passes, and it gets to like 8:30 in the evening, and they just finished the tune. He's like, "Oh, I'm sorry, that tune doesn't usually go on for 7 hours, but we got in the middle 8 there and really got into a thing." Now that was a joke. Now I go see the guy, and it's just like they start the tune, no sign of him. About 8 minutes later, he suddenly turns up just wandering around the stage like, hey everyone, there's a band, great. And then gets out Hazard tape, and for the next 14 minutes, Hazard tapes up the entire band and the stage, still jamming away there, and then drops into the tune.
He's a
gets
performer,
to the middle
Leo.
8, and then like another 16 minutes later, they're still jamming away on the middle 8. Ladies and gentlemen, the drummer, walk away for 4 minutes. It's like, dude, you finished your gig already. You played one tune. Like,
brilliant.
What?
There is a lot of that though. We went to see a long time ago. We went to see Ben Harper, and he gets lost in his slide guitar solos and this and the other. I love that. I don't want to get lost in a Gary Moore guitar solo. I mean, they can just literally go on for a week, and that's not my bag. But I do. We've all been lost in a middle 8, haven't we?
Many times, actually, yes, but not necessarily in that particular reason.
Well, I was going to say not necessarily for all the good reasons. You're lost in the middle 8 sometimes because you can't remember the bloody hell to get out of it.
Exactly,
because the guitarist is definitely not looking at
Yeah,
you.
exactly. No one's
I'm
looking at each
playing
other.
this Saturday, and it'll go that way again.
This is why I feel that every band should play in a circle facing each other with all of their amps and it's like
Well, we
right in
do
the
that
face.
when we practice, you see, like most bands, you are kind of looking at one another, but we do have that kind of nod and a wink thing going on from me. But because I'm kind of drumming, I'm normally doing a bit of this anyway, so either Neil's having a seizure, or he's just playing normally, so there's no distinguishing, oh no, he's trying to get my attention.
It's where those really good bands build up that rapport, that
I wish I could get
that
there.
link. Well, I mean, we were talking about it the other week in the pub with Andrea, you know, when she mentioned that, there's something that came up, and it's like when you have that, like, much of a synergistic relationship, you end up finishing each other's bowel
Sentences.
movements.
On that bombshell, do you know what? This. You end up finishing each other's. Oh God, what's the bloody word?
That was exactly the thing. That's how it went. And then at the same time, he said sentences. I said bowel movements.
Listen, talking of middle eights, Rob didn't get caught up in this one. This is our 7:30-ish. Not necessarily new music, is it? Local music, people we know, bands that need to sort of get a bump up, bands that we like.
Underexposed bands, like people who haven't had as much coverage as they should have.
Rob's had quite a lot of exposure, but not necessarily with his songwriting.
Yeah.
He's a bad lad.
We're back to Monty Tom again.
Yeah, he's had to move back down to London. They kicked him out of Somerset. So this is my very, very good friend Rob, who sent me that story about the snigger dogs. I said we'll come back to Rob.
Well, that made it all the way up to me in Scotland. I was in Scotland. I was like, I got up in the morning, like, looked at my phone. It's like Man Up Tree outside St Martin's Church, and I was like, I can't leave you guys for 5 minutes, can I? Yeah.
We had friends staying with us that come from London, and Andy said, "Have you put this on for us? Is this entertainment? Because we don't get this at home." But anyway, we got a bit of underexposed newish music, but this is Rob's first track, so this is probably a good 18 months old now, but I do love it. Back to back with a bit of old music. So the first one is Robert J. Mack, The Witness. He didn't get caught up in a middle eight. There's a very quick, quirky middle eight in this that you'll like. And the second one, which is the older music, I think when we get there, most people will recognise it. And when we come back after this, Leo, I'm going to wrongans you.
Excellent.
Give me that's even a thing. Give you a wrongan. I told you recognise the second track there. Of course, it's the late, great David Bowie. Every time I play a David Bowie, so I don't know, are you a Bowie or a Bowie?
Bowie.
I'm a Bowie.
Yeah.
I don't know whether that's correct or it isn't. Whether he's bad.
Well, there was the accusation that his son David Jones was called. Sorry, not David Jones. Is
David Bowie.
What's his son's name? Brian Jones, is it? He directed a terrible World of Warcraft movie. Based on a terrible game. But yeah, like he was supposed to have been called Zowie Bowie. Do you remember?
Okay.
And like every
Zowie Bowie
baby
doesn't work, does it?
Well, really? Zowie Bowie does work, but Zowie Bowie was the pronunciation. I'm like, nah. If it was anything, it would be Zowie Bowie.
Zowie Bowie. I've always called him David Bowie. What I was just going to say though, saying the late great David Bowie, I always say, not being a massive David Bowie fan. But every time I play a David Bowie song, I like it. So maybe subconsciously, I am a massive David Bowie fan.
You haven't listened to Black Tie White Jazz enough.
Is that good or bad?
Like we mentioned, was it last week and the week before with when Kat asked me this question? It depends.
Subjective.
Yeah, some people find it to be an atrocious album. I personally got it out of the library once when I was younger and found it to be quite listenable.
Okay, I think the famous one is it Scary Monsters. Yeah, I don't know. As I say, I'm not a massive David Bowie fan, but every song I play, I like.
The thing is, he's been quite prolific.
Yeah. So you got to like something, haven't you?
Yeah, so you're going to like something out of it somewhere, but also there is an awful lot of stuff that is kind of horrendous. I mean, arguably the Labyrinth soundtrack is a bit hit and miss.
Yeah, and maybe when you've got a career, like you say, he's so prolific, you get a career that spans that long, you've got to drop a clanger. If you're not necessarily for a lot of bands that aren't striving to be commercial, but if you're striving to constantly be commercial with the changing flow and ebb, if you like, of what's in, what's out, and whatever, you're inevitably going to sort of drop an album that you're trying to be commercial with it, and it doesn't work.
Which brings us back once again to Dancing in the Street.
Oh, with
people.
What's his name? Mick Jagger. Terrible song.
The other one as well. Oh,
No, just
Again,
watch the one with the sound removed. It's far funnier.
You know, we keep on mentioning, I keep saying my MTV collection, like, keeps on playing things, specific things, annoyingly.
Yes.
One of them is that blooming
Stop
Mick
listening to
Jagger,
With a
I'm
me-
just waiting for a friend. I'm not waiting for a lady. I'm just waiting for a friend.
I'd just like to say to everybody listening out there, thank the Lord I don't know that song. I'm going to cough, going to turn my mic on.
It still sounds considerably better. That tune is so bad.
I don't know it.
It is so bad. And, like, honestly, the amount of messaging that Mick Jagger's put in his tunes all of these years, and yet
subliminal.
people still think that marriage to Jerry Hall was not a sham.
Maybe it's not subliminal. It's blatant. Right,
It's
Leo.
blatant.
In homage. I said that as though
Homage to a fromage.
She's passed away. She hasn't. In tribute to Scarlett, who's got
In
us into
celebration of
in
the still
celebration
living
of Scarlett, who's got us onto the Cornish Times.
Page
And
4.
Page
to be
4
precise.
with our tribute, which is lovely. We've said before, hopefully everybody's got out and got a copy of the Cornish Times.
Because
So
the
this is one
whole
to keep,
paper
isn't
is
it?
a good one to keep. Yeah,
Absolutely.
It's excellent, covering all of the community's various.
It's a good
tributes
read.
to the Queen. It is a
Cover
great
to
read,
cover.
Yeah.
Moving forward, we are going to be doing a music column in the Cornish Times. So, also a big shout out to Scarlett's editor Zoe, because we put it to her that do they do that? They said no, we don't, but we'd like to. So we've got the massive responsibility now of writing a weekly music column, Mr. Paine.
Very appreciative. Yeah.
So, in honour of Scarlett, I'm going to do you up the wrong un.
Perfection.
So I said I'm going to do a wrong un.
You know, I need TrakLink over here so I can have matron.
Yeah, old matron link.
Yeah.
So, play along with this whilst you're listening at home, in the pub, in the car, or whatever. This is Scarlett's old quiz. It's called Wronguns, obviously from the Cornish, you're a wrongun. And the idea is, as is in the title, is that this is very, very rapid, quick fire. The right answer is wrong, the wrong answer is right. I will do this when you get an answer right, i.e. you've got that answer wrong. Okay? And then we'll very quickly play a tune after it.
Okay.
I'm not going to press the David Bowie button this week
No,
either.
yeah, no, hopefully he's back in his box now.
Are you ready, Leo? Do you want a
I
countdown?
can be. No, so I can do this. I can do this straight
It's
off the
quick.
cuff.
This is going to literally take about 20 seconds.
Good.
What's the opposite of hot?
Crumpets.
What is the capital of France?
Tahiti.
What's 2 plus 2?
Vince McMahon.
How do you spell dog?
Iguana.
Complete this classic British takeaway dish. Fish and...
I'll have a pea, please, Bob.
What do you put in a toaster?
Fish.
The Beatles sang this song. Complete the title. All you need is...
A machete.
Your mind's gone to a very dark place.
You should
Name an
listen to
animal
the
that...
Boy Camp test from Blade Runner. Because I don't
All
do
you
so well
need
at
is a
them.
machete. Name an animal that can't fly. I'm going to ping you out on that.
Liz
What would you
Truss.
use to mow a lawn?
Liz Truss.
Name an instrument that you strum.
Liz Truss.
Oh, what a phenomenal song that is. If my granddaughter Imi is listening out in New Zealand, she loves that track for some strange reason. Don't know why.
Excellent.
She's only 6. She had me playing it all summer. Do you know Running Down a Dream, Grandpa, by Tom Petty? Yes, I do, Imi. Can you play it? Yes, I can, Imi. And we just played Running Down a Dream. We used to do that many, many years ago in the band. I think maybe that's where she first heard it. But that's a cracking lead break. I don't like it, just saying to Leo, I don't like a ludicrously long lead break, but that's not, is it? That's
No, there is a
that's a lead
set
break
time
with-
that is appropriate to
and also the way you
manipulate
play
the
it.
neck of your guitar for. I was going to say something else there, but I pulled myself back where you can see my brain ticking over trying to think of an appropriate thing to say.
But it's the way you play that. It's not some
Yeah.
self-indulgent nonsense.
Yeah, exactly.
It's just
That's
absolutely
it. Yeah.
supports
I mean,
the
there
song.
is a
and
phrase
everything,
for
yeah.
that. There is a phrase for when the guitarist just starts like, gently stroking the neck of that guitar in a long and rather boring way.
Yeah,
and I'll say hello to Tony Black and to Dawn Lee and to Monty and Sarah in our chat rooms.
Hello guys, everybody's in, join the party.
Yeah, I'm sorry if you are having any trouble getting in to the chat rooms this evening. Just try another username for now, and I shall look at... I'm going to have to maybe change our chat system or something, because we occasionally have this thing where it logs your IP and locks you out. So,
but you are getting an upgrade on the internet.
Yes, we are actually getting an upgrade. There's a few upgrades going on, as you mentioned earlier. We've got some new cameras turning up that will probably increase the quality of our output visually, if not content-wise.
Are we going to put some Vaseline on the lenses?
Well, these are 4K.
There's not enough Vaseline in the world.
Yeah. But also alongside that, there is an upgrade coming to the internet connection. We will be getting a much bigger connection on fibre optic, so we should have far lower latency and get rid of any buffering issues out there.
Excellent.
And hopefully, everyone should be able to log in and tune in absolutely effortlessly at that
So
point.
Monty Tom is now Christmas one. So Dawn's in, Monty's in, Sarah's in.
Christmas has come early.
We're going to play the second
TrakLink.
So they're just in time for this. The first one was Sweet Talk by the Q-Tips, and the second one is, again, it's another well, I think it is. It's a fantastic tune. It's really jolly. It's called Our Favourite Things, and the band is called Las Pacominos, Senor. It's not called Senor, it's just called Las Pacominos. That is such a jolly tune, isn't it?
It's a great track. I'm loving that.
Hang on a minute. Los Pacominos.
Los Pacominos.
Yeah, we're joined by Tom Dillnot.
Yep, hello,
Tom.
greetings, welcome on into the chat room, thanks for joining us.
Spoke to him earlier.
Yes, did have a word earlier,
Yep.
and they're really looking forward to catching up in a couple of weeks.
Of course, that's for everybody else listening. That's Tom from Mellowed Out.
From Mellowed Out, so you'll
I think
remember.
we've played their entire back catalogue on this show, haven't we now? We're waiting for a new track, Tom. Come on, pull your finger out.
Yeah. No, I think if you go back and check episode 6, I think, around about that sort of period.
Good stuff.
Up to 16 episodes now, so
good stuff. Wooden gun, like that very much.
Where do you think you might be able to check any of them out?
Well, if I was going to go through our back catalogue, I would love to say Leo, but knowing my technical ability, I'll probably screw it up and give out the wrong address. So I'll say I would find them by phoning you and asking where I can find them.
Alternatively, you can go to fm.fluidrecords.co.uk or vision.fluidrecords.co.uk, where you'll find our complete back catalogue, including over 59 videos and 130 something shows.
You see, it trips off your tongue. I just trip over my tongue.
Oh, there's a few things that sprang to mind then. Like,
Spank to mind, did you say?
Well, that too, but
Right.
do you know how often my filter actually triggers? If my brain filter was a noise gate, it would just be constantly feathering.
I don't think we have a filter, do we?
Yeah, well, I don't know. After last week, I did need to compose myself for 3 or 4 minutes.
Yeah. This pop shield that I've got here, that needs to be a filter.
Yeah. Well, that was something actually. I will be getting you a proper pop filter. Both of us, in fact, a proper pop filter for these things.
Excellent.
Because we do have an awful lot of plosives when we say our P's and our B's.
I'm very much looking forward to that then. Well, let's use words that don't contain P. I've just done one.
Yeah, well, it's going to be a bit hard when the name of the station's Phluid FM. Oh wait, but
that's a silent P. Oh my good lord, it's like ptarmigan, isn't it? It's like a ptarmigan. That's spelled with a silent P.
That wasn't entirely intentional.
But then if you say with a silent P, you've totally negated the reason for calling it fluid, because then you said P, and
this
I've just
is
said
one
it
of my
now
favourite things.
literally
My dad
about 6 times.
Had and there's a book you can get at this now, and it is the most useless phonics book in the world for your kid. So it's like, let's learn the letter P. Pneumatic.
Ptarmigan.
Yeah.
Pheasant.
Yeah, everything is just where it has a silent version of that or whatever. And even better, shout outs to Vitali back in London now, my good friend Vitali. He's learning English, and his son, born in this country, is going to learn English. So the perfect gift to get them was a couple of these books. The first one was teaching you phonics with all the wrong phonics, but the other one was the bedtime story, shut the fuck up and go to sleep.
What I like though is one of my little things. I love the fact that ABV is short for abbreviation, but I love the fact that phonics is actually spelled with a PH, which is basically anti-phonics.
Yes,
or phonecular.
Oh, you know what? That sounds like a great band, the Antiphonics.
Just don't fart with a silent P. Right. You know what? We're cutting into Tipple of the Week time.
We are. We should really scurry along to that as quick as we can. I'm going to give you that.
Shall I?
And do you want to introduce this one before you have? Introduce it first before you.
I'm gonna pop the top, and then whilst you're decanting and tasting and letting it roam around the mouth, I shall discuss.
Well, we'll find out if it roams around the mouth. It may perambulate with the gusto of an octogenarian asthmatic ant.
Kill siege.
Not literally.
Not literally. That'd be horrific.
Machete from earlier.
Here we go.
That was like a seriously small gasp.
With the silent P, that just literally went.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, now, Leo, you open yours, and I shall read some little bits and pieces about this, because it's a little slight change to the normal tipple of the week.
Hold on, let me just.
We killed siege again. Hang on.
See, sometimes it's about like how you go
the angle.
About it. Yeah, exactly. The angle,
angle of the dangle.
The angle, acceleration, velocity, and force.
Let's go.
Can be a factor.
No, perhaps not.
Still,
let's unkill siege.
A small whimper.
So, decant, but be careful. And I just made a couple of notes here, because for the next couple of weeks on Tipple of the Week, we've gone up country a little, and we're changing from ales. So from the Cotswold Lion Brewery, which is what we've got here, hold it up to the camera here for those who are watching. This is called Best in Show, and it's a bitter. And now we're coming out of summer. This is described as a tawny best bitter with satisfying autumn fruit flavours, so it should be nice. Beware though, because it's a bottle conditioned beer, and it needs to be stored upright and poured carefully to avoid the sediment in the bottom of the bottle. So I'm going to do that now and avoid pouring the sediment into the bottom of the bottle. And I've even carried these around in my rucksack vertically. And then whilst we're enjoying this, I'm just going to tell you a little bit about the brewery. So they're based in Cheltenham, and they brew a range of beers, and they all feature a sheep on the label because, and I looked this up, the Cotswold Lion is a breed of sheep. So it is quite fruity on the nose for a bitter. I haven't drunk a bitter for a long time. Are we going in?
Yeah, let's get deep into this
lamb. Deep in the sheep.
Yeah.
God, I've gone again already. I shouldn't have said that before I was going to take a mouthful, should I?
You just reminded me of Welsh housemate.
Has it got a nutty flavour? I mean, are you literally nuts deep in the sheep, Leo, at the moment? But
I can barely get into it.
It's not a bear, it's a sheep. So, you can check out all their other beers and order from the website. Just search Cotswold Lion Brewery and follow them on Facebook, all the usual socials. And normally, when we enjoy Tipple of the Week, we play some music, don't we now? That is fruity.
This is very reminiscent of the bitters of old that I used to remember.
Flowers?
Yep, it's definitely very tawny. And
it's nice.
Yeah,
actually,
it's reminiscent
very nice.
of the classics, like the classic McEwans or Tenants. I think the old Tenants before.
It's a little bit Abboty, but I'd say that's nicer than Abbott.
Yeah, it's definitely got a much richer, deeper flavour. I have strong memories of that flavour from my childhood. Of like, you could smell that. The smell that it gives off is very identifiable. Like I say, quite reminiscent of McEwan's ale.
I kept that well stored. Look at that, zero sediment there, me old mucker.
Yeah, and
that's perfect, isn't it? I like that.
Yeah, that is really good. That's an excellent taste. In fact, Bass also jumps to mind. Like back in the day, when Bass used to actually be when they used to be a thing.
Yeah.
And you could get cask Bass. That is very reminiscent of that.
Very nice. We're going up country again next week with something slightly different. Now, the piece of music I'm going to play, and Tom Dill not's just got in on this, I think he's going to like this one, and I think Monty's going to like this as well, because guess what? I thought whilst we're reviewing the beer, we should try and find some local music. This is a biggie, Leo. So, Keith Moon of The Who, obviously ex-drummer of The Who, died very, very sadly, once owned the Crown and Cushion pub in Chipping Norton, which I didn't know.
I used to live near Chipping Norton.
Oh, there you go. Did you know that Keith Moon used to own the Crown and Cushion?
No, I was not aware of that at all. No.
And John Entwistle, of course, bass player from The Who, owned a 55-room mansion in Lower Swell near Stow-on-the-Wold. Now I know where that is because we've got some good friends in Stow-on-the-Wold.
I often encounter
Shipston-on-Stour, and we go through Stow-on-the-Wold to get to Shipston-on-Stour. So we're always going through Stow-on-the-Wold, and I see the sign for Lower Swell.
I always encounter Lower Swells,
especially once you've had a couple of sheep. Honestly, I just, as soon as we'd done Butcombe, I thought we are never revisiting that innuendo, and I thought I'll get a bloody beer that's just nice and safe.
Tasty, yeah.
Clearly isn't.
We've been through this. Nothing is safe when I'm around.
Nothing is safe in this room. So anyway, he installed.
Well, actually, don't say that too now.
He is. We need Prouty's moose sound.
Insurers listening.
So Entwistle installed 2 recording studios. He lived there with his wife for 27 years, but unfortunately he died in a hotel room in Vegas.
Yeah.
His funeral, however, was held at St Edward's Church in Stow-on-the-Wold. So whilst we enjoy this, you guys can enjoy this. Get your facts right though, Tony.
Yeah, exactly. Like, as I say, Fresh FM will be getting a lot of publicity off of Tony.
They will, won't they? They will. What a banging track that is, Fatboy Slim.
Yeah, great track.
It's 8:20 already.
Yeah, time's flying again, isn't it? Really, it just zips by at the moment.
It does. It's absolutely crazy. We've got still to come, of course. We've got our quiz sent in by Rufus. Rufus Scrimger.
Periwinkle.
He's the werewolf in. He's the Minister of Magic in Harry Potter. Rufus Scrimger, isn't he? Yeah, Rufus Periwinkle. We've got that to come. We've got the final TrakLink to come. Monty Tom seems to want us to play Restless by Hot Since '82. Not quite sure what that is, but the other day,
can't find it.
Yeah, we can't find it. But the other day, Monty Tom did request the Delta Bombers, and I've got the Delta Bombers ready to go. But also Monty Tom, before we play the Delta Bombers for Monty Tom, he did send actually, because obviously he's had this royal pardon. He's trimming all the hedges and whatnot around all of the royal gardens. I don't know whether he's doing that at the moment. Obviously, he might.
I'd imagine so. Yeah, getting them prim and proper for Monday.
There you go. But I don't know whether this top tip from Monty Tom might be one that he's picked up in prison, because he's with his top tips. He's all of a sudden gone a little bit dark, Leo. And he says, remember, when you bury a body, cover it up with endangered species, and that way it makes it illegal to dig up.
Yes, shout out to the Bury St Edmunds Massive.
Yeah, any more top tips like that, Monty Tom, and I think you're going to have to keep them to yourself. It's quite dark, eh?
Yeah, it is a bit.
What's he like?
Yeah.
What's he like? He's got a new Insta page, though, Mint Groundworks, for anybody that wants to check out Monty Tom's actual stuff that he builds.
He lays a good bit of paving.
He does. He likes an erection. He's always laying stuff. I mean, he's a busy boy.
Yeah, and judging by that tip, he's particularly good at anything from about 6 to 8 foot deep. I was just looking at what torrified means there, actually.
Torrified?
Yeah. Because our Tipple of the week this week uses torrified wheat.
Does it?
Yeah.
What does torrified mean?
I remember, or I recall what that was. I just double checked, and it's I was kind of close. It's actually
a different time of year?
No, it's superheating it to gelatinise the starch before you do the brewing process.
Is that not a normal thing?
They'll usually, I think that you usually boil it to above 85 degrees. And then you'd strain. Whereas torrifying it first, it breaks down all of those starches, so you don't have to gelatinise it.
Does that give it a sweeter taste at the end, do you think? That's where that autumny
I think so, but I think it's also
possibly
actually, but I think it's also for sort of speeding up the process a little bit, because obviously straining, doing it the old like water steam way or whatever.
Siege would know, he's big into his beers. Anybody out there that knows why you torrify beer, let us know.
There you go.
Do you know what it's time for again already?
TrakLink.
And I didn't even look then. I'm just hoping what it's not time for is like, hi, I'm Cameron.
See, you got it right a couple of times now. And if you were in Star Wars right now, Han Solo would be like, don't get cocky, kid.
I'd have that big Bachman Turner overdrive lever. I want one of those. Our TrakLink is
I need to do
the equivalent of that, isn't it?
I need to just get a ridiculously big lever, like maybe one of those marble madness things as well. You can put a little marble in on the other side of the room and have it come all the way down past the cameras and then press the button.
Or what's that thing that is it Star Trek where he just has that kind of thing and he seems to drive the whole ship by just pressing one button or something? Or am I thinking of the wrong thing there? I don't know. For anybody out there, I apologise because I don't watch Star Trek, but I seem to remember Lieutenant Uhura or Mr. Sulu taking it to warp factor something or other and just like twisting something.
No, back in the day, like if you go to the original series, Sulu originally had this viewport thing that would come up from the side and like stick these binoculars in front of him and he'd look at it and go, oh yeah, I'm going to plot my course, I'm going that way.
Oh, I'm totally thinking of something
they
different.
They ripped that off like from season 2 onwards or something because it's like, why would he need that? He's got it all in front of him. There have been
Did he nick that from Citroen? Because they came out with that heads-up display, didn't they?
Yeah.
So do you think like when they were building the Starship Enterprise, Captain Kirk, or it was Luke Picard, I suppose at that point, but do you know what, guys? We need that Citroen heads-up thing that they've got going on.
You know what's interesting, actually, is this is a common misbelief is I mean, there's some truth to it to a degree, but the claim that the mobile phone design, flip phones in particular, come from... Yeah, that's a misconception. The communicator itself was based on a design for a mobile phone from
32?
No, I think it was either late 50s or earlier in the 60s.
It's called a clamshell, isn't it?
I think, if I remember correctly, it was 7 years possibly before Star Trek.
Oh, okay.
And they showed this mock-up, and it was exactly the shape of a communicator in the pilot episode that was never aired in the cage. It was slightly bigger, but look at that newspaper cutting from this telecom show and look at the Star Trek communicator. They are basically the same.
But it's the clamshell. Motorola did the clamshell phone, didn't they?
They had the Razor, yeah.
So Razor,
again, the Razor is very much
don't
based
go
on
razoring a badger,
design.
by the way.
I wouldn't
That's
try.
illegal.
I mean, especially on the A30, I've seen like 2 of them on there, like that have been hit by cars, and I worry about the state of the cars after them. These things are like as big as Dobermans.
They are enormous, but it's very sad. A lot of roadkill is avoidable. I think a lot of people drive too fast, and as you say that,
mind you, a lot of it is avoidable, but people just choose not to.
I know, but it's a shame because the Badger's also nocturnal. I mean, I think the ones you've seen, Leo, are just knocked over, but they are generally a nocturnal. And you shouldn't be driving that quick at night, people. Honda Jazz drivers, they never hit a Badger. They're always going too slow. There's some the Honda Jazz driver
gently push it along under the wheel for about 40 miles.
I was going to say a Honda Jazz drives so slowly that they would impact with the Badger. Literally, the Badger would be like, wow. I just push the car out of the way and go, carry on crossing the road. Anyway, let's do this final TrakLink, Leo.
Oh, hello. We're on sec. Before you get to your TrakLink, Monty's got back to us. Torrefied wheat has long been used by brewers up and down the country to provide additional head potential on all beer styles.
Trust Monty, Tom.
The higher molecular weight proteins and glycoproteins are head positive and also promote mouthfeel. It is especially useful when base malts are particularly low in nitrogen or protein.
Oh, so now you know.
Extra head is the key to success.
And Monty Tom would know all about that.
Yes, certainly.
Monty Tom, trust him to come in with the answer. Thanks, Monty Tom.
Yeah, nice one.
And there'll be more brewing tips from Monty. Is he branching out?
And more brewing tips from Monty Tom via Wikipedia coming next week. I'll look that up. That's exactly going to be the first paragraph on Wikipedia for Torrefied wheat.
I think Monty Tom knows he knows his hops.
Yes.
He knows his maltings and he knows his beer.
He sure knows his head too.
Right, he does. Anybody who's struggling to get
good head.
TrakLink.
So I thought we were still talking about beer there. I was going to say, like, torrefy your wheat, man. If you're not getting good head, you need to torrefy your wheat.
Tori Amos. That's a completely different. That's a completely different story. Track number 1, Leo's gone. Sweet Talk by the Q-Tips. Track number 2, Our Favourite Things, that funky track by Las Pacominos. This is the last one, and I think this is going to be a little bit of a giveaway. This is such a brilliant tune. It's by the Street Band, and it's called Toast. Brilliant track. Love that track. Leo had a stab as soon as I said it will give it away, Leo, and he guessed it. We've had Dawn Lee's come in with a guess of Paul Young. You know, Leo, when they say somebody makes a piece of toast, you see toast, you smell toast, you want toast. Just hearing them munching it at the end there makes you want a piece of toast.
Yeah. Although, like, I find it difficult to keep bread from going off so quickly these days. I need to get back into making my own bread because I don't know. Like, I go down, I get myself a loaf, and 2 days later it's already smelling funky. Especially brioche. I notice wherever I get brioche from these days, it's always. I think it's like activating or something because it smells super yeasty and like it's fermenting in the bag. Yeah, like only a couple of days it lasts. So
Andrea used to make bread. We've got a bread making machine. The problem with making bread is that the bread making machine just smells of bread, and you come in and then this hot bread loaf comes out and basically then just eat it. Yeah. Then you need to go and buy another loaf because everybody's just descended and eaten the loaf.
This is why I often suggest whenever the good lady driver is baking, like do 2 or 3 batches because I'm going to eat one of them by the time you finish baking it. So
yeah, while you're waiting for the second loaf to cook, you've eaten the first one.
She's gotten used to it. Like when she makes pancakes now, it's literally like pour one out onto a plate and then make the next one straight onto the plate. Yeah, it's non-stop.
So that's your TrakLinks done.
Yeah.
What were they? Let's just have a quick recap and then we'll do a quiz. Sweet Talk by the Q-Tips, Our Favourite Things by Las Pacominos, and Toast by the Street Band. And as I say, Dawnley's come in with a guest, Leo's had a guest. I think the last one was a little bit of a giveaway, but 3 great tracks. And Monty Tom's come in.
Yeah, saying, listening to Toast reminds me of this. Baxter, These Are My Friends, Fred Again, and Baxter Jury.
Is that a song? Or is that a programme? Elucidate, Monty Tom. Elucidate.
Yes.
We're going to have a quiz.
Yes, Tom.
Can I do the quiz? Can I do the quiz?
Absolutely.
This is Rufus Periwinkle's quiz, as normal. Love a bit of Rufus Periwinkle quiz. Yeah. It's called very topically again. He's very on point, Rufus. The Great Big Bake... No, it's not called that at all. It's called the Great Big Cake Off quiz. Other baking shows are available, and we don't want to get sued by anybody that is running one of those available shows. Yeah. So I think Rufus has very cunningly led us a merry dance in the title there. Oh, hang on. You can. Where's the dooferberry? Just 2 seconds. Have that.
Yeah.
Have that.
Yeah. Write down some answers.
And you can write down. Have you got the studio pen?
Yeah.
I've got the studio. Have you got the studio?
I have a studio pen.
I've got a studio pencil. If not, reminds me of a very old story. Just very quickly say this before we do the quiz. You've got the studio pen. I got the studio pencil. Back in the space race days, the Americans quite literally spent millions of dollars trying to get a pen that would write in 0 gravity. Yeah, and do you know what the Russians took?
A pencil.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's so funny being at Kennedy Space Center, Cape Canaveral, and them taking you all around, and they come up to that point, and I was only a kid at the time, obviously, and I got to be that smart. And I said, like, blah blah blah, millions of dollars, and I was like, yeah, Russians just took pencil.
Yeah. Although, would you then in 0 gravity have a load of shavings floating around all the way?
Well, look, here's the excuse.
Swimming through pencil shavings. Breathing in graphite, Leo.
Here's the excuse, right? Multi-billion project to put space shuttle out in space, land on moon, come back from moon. Graphite from the pencil might get stuck in the instruments and cause a short. Really?
I think the Russians just thought that through, didn't they?
Really?
Anyway.
$1 billion project. Top science.
$1 billion pencil. They did invent Velcro anyway. Here we go.
You say that I may mock, but Apollo
440.
No, was it Apollo?
We had that on our pilot show.
Apollo 12 or 14, one of those two.
Okay, split the diff. Let's call it Apollo 13.
Well, no, because that was the one that got stuck in space. You remember? And they were running out of fuel. The Tom Hanks movie, Apollo 13.
Not seen that.
Oh, good. But it was one either side. I think it was either 12 or 14. They died in the capsule during a test because they were using Velcro to stick things to the wall so they wouldn't float. And there was a short during the test with compressed oxygen container, and the short set fire to the Velcro, which then obviously set fire to all the oxygen, and the guys were incinerated inside, and toxic gas, etc. Something that small can actually cause a big difference, but still. Pretty sure graphite, you've got to be building these things to withstand re-entry. I'm pretty sure they can withstand a tiny microscopic piece of graphite bouncing off of it. Yeah.
Right, Leo, are you ready?
I am.
Pen poise then as opposed to pencil. Question number 1. Which Great British Bake Off winner made the late Queen Elizabeth's 90th birthday cake in 2016? I'm going to say the Indian girl that went on to do her own show, but I can't think. Naga. What? No, not Naga. That's the newsreader. Question number 2.
There's at least 2 things wrong I could point out with the guess of Naga Munchetti.
But you know the one I mean, the Indian girl, and she went on to do
well, no, I don't,
show.
because as far as I could possibly know, given that I don't watch British Bake Off, is probably Beryl from Merseyside. So that's my
you
answer.
put Beryl from Merseyside.
Beryl from
I'll come back to
Merseyside.
mine because I think I know it. Number 2, Russell Brand, during his stint in Celebrity Bake Off, famously made a shortbread tribute, that's in inverted commas, depicting which female body part? Your choices are A, breasts, B, lips, C, vagina, and for a bonus, what did he name the creation? I'm going to go A, breasts. Okay, so you've got lips or vagina are B and C.
I would say, obviously, the most attractive organ of any being's body, the brain.
Okay, well, that's not an option.
It's not an option.
Okay.
I again, being Russell Brand, I'm going to go with the vagine.
Okay.
And was he going to call it Virginia?
There you go. So I was going to say we can discuss our answers during the record.
Do we have
Question
to?
number 3. Which cake, also known as omelette surprise, is a dessert consisting of ice cream and cake topped with brown meringue? That's baked Alaska, I think.
Yeah, baked Alaska.
Okay.
Is the answer to that.
Number 4. A top-notch bake is rewarded with a Paul Hollywood what? A, kiss, B, slap, C, handshake. I think we all know that one, even if you don't watch the programme.
Well, lawsuit, judging by
the Hollywood
his
lawsuit.
Philandering lawsuits that he's had in the past.
Question number 5.
No, what was your answer for that one?
I'm going to say handshake.
Handshake?
Yeah. Hollywood
Okay,
handshake.
what were the other ones?
A Hollywood kiss or a Hollywood slap? Hollywood.
I'm going to go.
Could you imagine if you had a Hollywood slap?
No, I'm going to go with what is now known as the Will Smith.
A Hollywood slap.
Damn right.
And question number 5. What type of typically heavy, slightly sweet rye bread has a name which means devil's fart? We will pontificate whilst listening.
Repeat that one. What was that?
What type of typically heavy, slightly sweet rye bread has a name which means devil's fart?
Matt Lucas.
And we'll be back after a couple of tunes. Okay, we're ready to come back to the quiz with these answers. I've just unveiled the answers. They are here, and I know I'm going to kick myself on this first one because I can see her face and I can see her name. I'm going to open this up and I'll be completely wrong.
Maybe.
So,
maybe not.
Here we go.
Yeah.
Here we go. The rustle of the paper. Here we go. It is! And as soon as... Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, bugger. I just couldn't remember her name.
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go with the answers to the quiz and the answers to TrakLink. We're getting close to the end of the show already, which is ridiculous.
8 minutes.
Question 1 was which winner made the late Queen Elizabeth's birthday cake? It was Nadia Hussein. I could see her. I could see her on a travel program.
Yes.
Yeah. Can I have that as a point?
Nadia Hussein.
Can I have that as a point?
Well, no, some Indian chick is not the answer.
Okay,
unfortunately.
Russell Brand made a shortbread vagina.
Oh, did he now?
And he called it the portal to all life. So you got that, Leo. You got that, but I said breasts and he called it
but I said he
knockers.
called it Virginia.
Tony Black said breasts, and what did he say he called it?
Yes, Tony Black came in with...
tickle the nipple.
Breasts, and it's called tickle the nipple. He said Paul Hollywood for the first one.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely rubbish, Tony. Question 3, the ice cream and brown meringue is a baked Alaska.
Yep, Tony said Pavlova.
We got baked Alaska, did we not?
We got baked Alaska, not Pavlova.
4, you don't get a Hollywood headbutt or a Hollywood slap or a kiss or whatever. You do get, of course, the legendary Hollywood handshake.
Violation. Oh, sorry, handshake.
Yeah. And
Hollywood violation or the Will Smith bitch
honestly,
slap.
I don't believe Tony Black What type of typically
No,
heavy...
he didn't even say what he said. He said the Paul Hollywood knees up.
The Paul Hollywood knees up the what? Though? But look at his last answer. A heavy, slightly sweet rye bread that means devil's fart is the pumpernickel. Tony Black gets a point for the pumpernickel.
Well done, Tony, for
I
getting
put
the
Satan's Wind, and what did you put?
I put Matt Lucas at first, but then Bora Diablos.
Bora Diablos. I thought it's got to be something
Wind
to do
of
with
the
the devil.
devil.
That's a good quiz. I do like a Rufus Pumpernickel quiz. How many points did I get, Leo?
Pumpernickel. So you got Bates Alaska.
Yeah. And Nadia Hussein. Can I not have Nadia Hussein?
Yeah, you can have Nadia.
Okay, that's 2. And a handshake. So I get 3.
Yep. And I got...
you got vagina.
I got vagina, so I'm happy.
Have you only got...
It's a good week for me.
Have you only got 1?
I think so. No, I got Baked Alaska.
Oh, Baked Alaska, so you got 2. And Tony Black got Pumpernickel. Yeah. It just goes to show if we pool our resources on a quiz, we'd probably get a few more than
the Will Smith bitch slap is never going to be an answer to a question.
I'd love it.
I'm disappointed in that now.
Could you imagine if he had a Hollywood knees up or a Hollywood slap? It's just like... If you do really badly, he gives you the Hollywood slap.
No, I think it would be more appropriate. Like you've won British Bake Off, bap.
That's it.
Yeah, now get your cake. Go. Get your damn cake out of my tent.
Out of the tent. So thank you, Rufus. Brilliant quiz. Let's have another one next week. Let's have another Rufus.
I've just got now images of Will Smith just deliberating cakes and sending everyone out.
Do you think Will Smith might be on the next Celebrity Bake Off? That'd be a good one.
The problem is with Celebrity Bake Off is that you have to be a celebrity, and I think he's kind of cashed that chip in now.
Oh no!
You know, he's done the Bill Cosby, but just fast forwarded it 40 years.
Never mind. Right. Let's just do TrakLink, which was the Q-Tips Sweet Talk. Yep. It was Las Pacominos. Our favourite things. I don't know why I'm saying that, but I think you have to say it in the Mexican accent. And the last one, which was the giveaway Street Band and Toast, which of course was the phenomenal
Paul Young.
So you got it on the last one, didn't you?
He at very last minute there, because as I said, I looked up and said, oh man, Dawn's literally just said it at the same time.
And congratulations to Dawn Lee, who said Paul Young as well. Have we got a couple of last things to do, a couple of notifications on some music that's coming up locally? And then I think it'll be bid you adieu.
Pretty much, yeah. Like we've actually run pretty much well on schedule this week, which week's a change.
Be quick on the gig guide, I'll play us out, and we will have done by 9.
Indeed, yes. We are doing our gig guide that started last week. We gave you a breakdown for the whole month, but don't worry, we're just going to give you this weekend and keep you updated as we go. So this weekend being Saturday the 17th is your primary day for all of the bands going on, where we have the Men in Black Band at Lou Social Club, and that's between 9:15 and 11:45. You also have Dubath, who have lots of gigs on in the next couple of weeks. They're going to be playing at the Buller's Arms in Lou between 4:30 and 6:30. Then you also have Booster, who do rock and pop covers, and they're playing at the Callington Social Club between 9:30 and midnight, and that's somewhere where we shall probably be going ourselves fairly soon for various reasons.
Following Saturday we're going over to see a band and potentially refire up the Phluid Vision channel, which
let's give it a bit more content,
and we can discuss that as and when it happens.
We'll come back to that closer to the point, but for this week, like I say, Booster, rock and pop covers, Callington Social Club, 9:30 till midnight. And finishing up your Saturday, you have Blue Soul, Soule, which is a jazz and blues and soul 5-piece, and they're playing at the Ship Inn in Polperro at 9 till 11, taking you through to Sunday, finishing off your weekend with Naughty Boys, who do covers from the 60s to now, and they're at the Buller's Arms in Lou, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. So if you're looking for some good music, there's plenty on there in the local region over this weekend. Do stay tuned to us for more of them, and in time, hopefully you will see us in the Cornish Times doing much the same.
Yeah, so until such time, I've been Neil.
And I've been Leo.
And these are the Black Keys. Toodle pip all.
Take care. Good night.